All right. Do. All right, Jeff, you there? There you go.
All right, so we're going to start over. We have to send out, I got like 4 or 5 messages of people saying that they're doing something wrong. So I sent them technical difficulties, please stand by.
Yeah.
So there's another one.
So it's broadcasting right now.
Okay.
Uh,
So what you want to send out an email saying?
yeah, but I'm not seeing it in the YouTube channel for whatever reason. Unless Google changed stuff again. That's frustrating. Oh, now it's live now. Yeah. So
Okay, we're on.
let me send out an email here really quick.
I'm going to go ahead and do a screen share. By the way, if I want to be able to.
Okay, you're on screen share there.
Okay, and I want to get rid of my sidebar there. Is there a way to be able to go to a presentation mode here? Present. Oh, that's not. Okay. Okay, Victor, are we rolling?
We are, except I'm sending out that email, so hold on a second. I just want to make sure these people get it. Come on. Don't know why the first one didn't go, but second one's now there. Almost. Oh, stop. Of course, all this is being recorded.
Hi, guys. This is it. Under the Hood. Technical difficulties. Houston, we have a problemo.
Okay, just went out.
All right.
And we should. I got
the slide.
Person watching, and I got your slide on.
Okay.
So give it a few minutes as people start logging in here.
Okay, I'm just seeing you. There's extension.
You got to select what you're watching, but I am broadcasting your your slide.
Okay, I was hoping to be able to see it, but I'm not. I'm seeing you.
Because you have me clicked on, but that's not what's going out.
Okay. All right. Are we live?
One more second. Just to make sure. Someone send you a message? You got to select what you're
Oh, how
watching.
about a ukulele interlude?
I am broadcasting. Go for it. Your slide.
Okay.
Are you hearing the audio? Did you go to the link itself?
Yeah, I'm looking at my phone, and what I'm seeing broadcast is my picture of me, so you're not broadcasting my slide.
Now let's try that again. Try your slide again.
Well, I have it up, but I'm not capable of seeing what's up.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and start, and
Okay.
I'll do the slideshow here. So go from the beginning.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Introductions. Let's go.
Okay, here we go. You want to go back to the first slide?
Okay, got it.
Here we go. I got it. Okay, we're back, folks. That's the way it works with technology. We had a failure to launch on the first attempt for co-streaming a YouTube channel from Google Hangouts. As Victor and I have been talking through this, we realize, again, part of our job is to kind of be the ones who feel the pain and take some of these risks to try some of these things. And hopefully you're picking up from us some of these sort of ancillary things, like different ways of creating webinars. So we're using our Google Plus Hangouts today to bring you the final episode of the Extension Mobile Device Users Group, fondly known as EMDUG. And with me today is Victor Villegas. Good morning, Victor.
Hey, how's it going, Jeff? Glad to be here. Yeah, these technical difficulties drive us nuts sometimes. That's all part of what we do, right?
Yeah, like I say, we're here to feel your pain, as everybody knows. Those of us who spend all our time doing this realize there are issues.
So Karen said that screen share was starting there, but now it's disappeared. So I'll do it one more time. And here we go. So it should be up now.
Actually, it's just a picture of me, a little circle around my face.
It takes a little bit of time to get there. Let's go to the second one.
While it's pulling this up, we are really at a point now in the adoption and use of mobile devices to finally really say, Victor and I had this conversation to say to each other, why are we still doing this? It's no longer a new piece of equipment or technology or capacity in Extension or anywhere else. The mobile world has, like a tidal wave, washed over all of us. And I don't know, I told Victor the other day, and I said, you know, I'm starting to feel like with EMDUG, we're just basically trying to teach people how to use their phone. I mean, it's like, or, gee, you ought to want to use your email. It's really moved beyond all that. We're going to look at some other trends that would really give more evidence that it's no longer a matter of, well, should I consider using mobile? You should already be there, and the rest of the world is there. Many countries are actually far ahead of us in the use of mobile technology. So, but we're at a point where EMDUG needs to take on some new types of topics. So we're going to put this puppy to bed.
Oh.
And, we're going to
have some final.
We're going to come back. We're going to come back with something a little different. That in a couple of months, that will start to be more broadly oriented towards the use of a variety of technologies, and I'll even say teaching techniques in Extension, because my job here as learning technology leader is not just about technology, it's about learning. And I've started putting a comma between the two pieces of my title. So how you mix technology and learning is driven by how people want to learn. So I'd like to explore those kinds of issues. What kind of things, Victor, might you be thinking about for the future?
Well, one thing that's on the horizon, I'm sure many of you have heard, is wearable technology. Now, you might not have heard of just that term, but how many of you have heard of Google Glass? Jeff, you've heard of Google Glass?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
In the news. So things like that. But um, also new trends and other technologies, drones, drones in agriculture, possibilities there. OSU has been working with some of that stuff. It just runs the whole gamut of technologies. What can we use? Not just mobile anymore. It's
Yeah.
other things that are coming out. Collaborative technologies online. Google Hangouts here is one example. How can you use that in your work? How can you use Google Docs to make yourself more efficient and be able to connect with other people?
Yeah.
Social media and whatnot.
Yeah. So we'll be reinventing ourselves in the months ahead, and so stay tuned for additional material. But will no longer be a dog and his iPad. Uh, So, Victor, you had a chance to look at Mary Meeker's annual report of Internet trends, and you had some thoughts about where the world is now about this to give us some more perspective.
Well, the reports definitely show that mobile is here to stay, and it's just growing by leaps and bounds. This actually, we're getting to the point where mobile is overtaking desktops and laptop computers in terms of the numbers that are out there. As a matter of fact, mobile devices, for most of the people in the world, are their primary and only way of getting to the internet. So if our websites are not mobile friendly, if we don't have apps, we're practically invisible to people on the internet, which is one reason we should be moving in that direction.
I pulled up some of the graphics from Mary Meeker, and I did the connection that was in our slideshow. So, Victor, you tell me if it's coming through, since you're our studio controller. Either that or I need to share this screen. I'm not sure if it pulled it up.
Yeah, every time I try to go to it, it puts me on camera, but I have to keep on resharing it. But I'm actually sharing it from my end.
Okay.
So
you've got the internet trends up. Good.
Yes, this is a comprehensive annual report.
Okay, so you want to take it away and show us a few of these things?
Let's see here. It's coming up slowly.
So some of the things we're seeing are, again, dealing with smartphone subscribers and tablet users are really taking off around the world. With mobile usage is growing incredibly quickly, with the figures showing the quantity of smartphones in the world is at really a 30% insertion rate with the population. That's pretty incredible.
So here are some of the stats. Tablets, 52% early stage rapid unit growth. Mobile data traffic, 81% accelerating growth, with video being a very strong driver. Mobile usage growth very strong. As we can see back in first quarter 09, 35 million, and now we're up to 315 million. So 30% of 5.2 billion mobile phone user base. The PC market is actually going down, while tablets are going up. Now, where does mobile computing fit in with the regular medias like TVs? TV still has the biggest penetration across the world, but tablets are definitely gaining ground fairly quickly. Mobile usage, this is probably the one that's more impressive to me, is that there is more usage of mobile devices than regular ones, especially in third world countries. And here it's showing the different operating systems with obviously Apple, iOS, and Android taking the lion's share. Android is more popular because it's usually cheaper, but they're up there.
Okay.
So that's pretty much the main part of that report.
All right.
So on to our next section of program here, wearable technology. Mobile devices. Most people think of that as being just tablets, your iPad, your iPhone, your Android device. But really, this is expanding to what's wearable technology. I mean, that's mobile. You take it with you, right? Google Glass. Jeff, what's that you have around your wrist sometimes?
Well, yeah, I didn't have today, but I went ahead and invested into the technology, the Fitbit.
The Fitbit.
The Fitbit, which actually is a sensor that I wear around my wrist that monitors my arm movement, which then, of course, is statistically linked to my walking. So what Fitbit can do is give me a sense of how many miles I've walked in a day. It's a health sort of a biofeedback system, and I find it as not unattractive. It's kind of a high-tech looking band. Unfortunately, one of the things about mobile devices is they get mobile on their own sometimes, and I seem to have misplaced my Fitbit somewhere in my house. So I have to walk around a lot to find it, but I will eventually, I know. But it's been an interesting experience actually doing a little experiment with wearable technology with the Fitbit.
So does that connect to your mobile device, your iPhone?
Yeah, right. It's in Bluetooth contact with my an app that I uploaded on my phone, and the phone will then track the number of footsteps I take. It also can be used to set goals. Like I say, it's kind of a biofeedback system. I found actually that in wearing that Fitbit that I was going up the stairs here in Kerr to the 4th floor instead of taking the elevator, because I looked down my wrist and I'd feel a little guilty if I pushed the button on the elevator versus walking up the 4 flights of stairs, because I was losing some of my Fitbit points. So it is a motivator. It's different in how you view this relationship between your technology and your health. And I know you're going to talk some more about that later as well. But I did find that it was a motivator. It also will monitor your sleep patterns, which is, you may ask, well, how does it do that? Again, it's linked to the concept that when you're sleeping, your arm is not going to be moving. But if you're restless, you might be moving and pounding on your pillow, or you might even be awake. It makes a judgment call about if you have a lot of arm movement, then you're not sleeping. So it can give me data on the number of hours per day that I'm getting, and it sends me reports. I can view that. I can make sort of maybe attempts to change my behavior if I'm seeing I'm not getting enough sleep. So again, this biofeedback loop. Something it does bring up, and I know we'll talk more about it later, though, is as many people are concerned about the issues of privacy.
Oh, yeah, privacy.
Yeah, especially when it comes to health statistics or your current medical situation and that kind of thing. And that's a very interesting dilemma. Yeah.
Well, that's because all this information is basically going up into what they call the cloud, right?
Right. And it's not unheard of for the Fitbit is also a social media, because all the Fitbit apps are linked together. You can ask friends to participate with you. I've got 3 other people in my Fitbit friend circle who we we can watch each other's progress. I can't see how many hours they're sleeping, but I can see how many steps they've taken that day. It becomes kind of a friendly competition, and you can send messages of encouragement, or also little jabs at them, like when you pass them in the number of steps you've taken for that week or something. So there is a social media side.
Hmm.
Millennials, as we know, are far less concerned about what the world knows about them. So, I'm sure there are probably thousands and thousands of posts from people wearing Fitbit saying, "Well, I got 6.5 hours of sleep last night, thank goodness,"
Hmm.
and whatever. So it brings up some ethical issues. I just think it's good that you need to just be aware of them, and then you can create an opinion about it, and decide what you as an individual feel comfortable doing.
So where do you see that these types of wearable technologies fit in with extension?
Well, that's a good question. Uh, you and I have both been watching for someone who's using, say, Google Glass
Right.
in extension. It's not clear yet. There are some agricultural users, farmers, and others that who are our clients who are using them,
Hmm.
uh, and it's. I think it's still a very open question. I think it's a personal computing device, though, much like your phone becomes embedded in your personal and your business and your work life. Uh, I think the Google Glass and other wearables are going to do the same thing
Right.
in all parts of your life.
And going beyond the wearables, there's actually what people are starting to talk to is the Internet of Things, the wearables being part of that. But that also includes sensors being placed on different, you'll have a sensor on your refrigerator telling you, um, you're low on milk or eggs or something like that. Sensors in rooms when, to turn on the lights automatically when you leave home. Just turn
I'm
on the
waiting for the
radio.
I'm waiting for the refrigerator to say as I'm pulling out the ice cream box, no, you don't want to do that. As part of my Fitbit, maybe it would.
There you go. Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, it sounds really crazy and off wall, but the technology is actually the easy part. Again, it's the human behaviors that's going to be the tougher thing. The privacy issues. I mean, do you want the cloud to know that how much ice cream you are eating, or your friends to know? Like you say, there's a possibility, and it's scary.
Yeah, and there are many more products coming on the line all the time. I understand that you'll be talking a little bit more about iOS 8,
Yeah.
and the Apple is apparently getting into this health app side as well. So we're
Oh,
just
yeah.
going to see more and more of this personalized, wearable kind of technology.
Right. So let's go on to our next section, and a frame is Planet of the Apps, or Return to the Planet of the Apps.
Turn,
Look,
yes.
looking forward and back.
Yeah, yeah, we've had fun over the last 2 years looking at a lot of different apps, and we thought we'd take a few moments just to kind of look back at what we've found. And perhaps some of you have looked at these, and I know many of you probably have found many others that we don't even know anything about that are quite good. I mean, I don't know. I think I saw a picture. I mean, how many apps are there just for, say, the iPhone?
Oh man, it's
250 million. I don't know. So there's no way it's become a galaxy of apps. But here are some of our favorites from the past, as
mhm.
well as some things we're looking at in the future. And we're going to take a look at some of our faves and things in education, communication, personal productivity, photo and video, one of our favorites, and
Mhm.
social media. Health, of course, we touched on, and maybe with just some fun things we know about.
All right, so let's go to our first section, education.
Yeah, I was going to just briefly remind people that you can create interactive multimedia books using the Apple software. Again, I'm talking for folks who have access to Apple computers and peripherals. Again, one of the things that we've had to deal with in EMDUG is that sometimes there's just going to be things available only on one platform. But the iBook is I thought was a major breakthrough in allowing educators, extension folks, to create highly interactive sort of multimedia workbooks or textbooks and to publish them to the world using the iBook Author Program. And Maureen Hosty up in the metro area has taken this, and we had her as a guest, remember? And she created a basically a school gardening set of iBooks where they were able to create interactive, multimedia-rich experiences for kids using their iPad.
Right.
Yeah, so we just want to recall that one. It's one that, again, what you create is only available to people with iPads. But in education, that's often a large number of folks. So, on to the next, Victor.
Okay, let's see, what we've got next is communication. So obviously emails, it's the best way to you get your email stuff on your iPhone, connecting it with Outlook. It's one of the biggest uses of my mobile devices is being able to connect with all my emails from work. And you can actually have multiple accounts, so you can also get your emails from home and whatnot. Link, there is an app for Link, and I know many of you use it here at OSU. As it's kind of an instant chat type application, and when I'm out of the office, I can put that on, let people know where I'm at, and people can send me messages just as if I were here. Fast following on Twitter. So I received this request from one of the extension offices. They're looking for a way to put out emergency notifications to their staff members, like a snow day or something like that. They want to, and I found through my network on Google Plus from someone else in another state, also working in extension, about fast follow on Twitter, and it's a way of setting up so you can receive messages on your phone from a Twitter account, and you don't actually have to have a Twitter account for this. And there's instructions on how to do that on Twitter. So basically, what you do is you turn on messaging for whatever Twitter account. So let's say you want to follow me, OSU TECH, OSU Extension Tech. You would send a message, and on Twitter it shows you. I can send a link. I'll put it in the blog so you can see how to do that. And then anytime I send a message from that Twitter account, you'll automatically get a SMS or a text message on your phone. So you could theoretically set up a Twitter account just for emergency notifications. And anytime that Twitter account sent out a message, anybody who's following that on their mobile device will automatically get a text message. So a very simple way of sending that out to people without people actually having to sign up for Twitter.
So what's a typical scenario that might be used?
Well, again, like snow days. Let's say the office is going to be closed. Don't come into work tomorrow. That's one very obvious way. But you could set this up for, in agriculture, weather, bad weather, pest infestation, really anything you want to send out.
Yeah, potential freezing tonight, the first of the year, maybe the first frost.
Yeah. Heaven forbid, tsunami warning, but really you can set it up for any type of message that you want to send out as a text message.
I'm going to have to try that. Okay, another category is one of my favorites for how it's changed my life is in the area of personal productivity. And we were really delighted to have Stan Scrab come to us as one of our guest speakers last just be the end of the year, to talk about Evernote, which, if you haven't had a chance to think about it, Evernote, again, I think is one of those apps that's become so robust that it's really becoming a fixture in the area of mobile devices, and it's available across all platforms. Just to remind you, Evernote is a way to organize, tag, and save just about everything that you ever had on your desk, on your shelf, in your pocket. Anything can be saved as a document, a photo, a reference into the cloud. And so wherever you are on the planet, if you're using Evernote and doing so in a kind of a structured way, you could access any of the materials you've created if you are consistent about putting them into Evernote. So let's say you gave a presentation and you had the PowerPoint and you wanted to scan and take a look at your notes, and you're over in Singapore. You could go onto Evernote, and provided you had remembered to tag that and as a way you could find it, you can pull up that information. And Stan, our guest speaker, showed how you could do those kinds of things. So I encourage you, if you haven't, there are other products out there. Evernote, although I would say is really at the top of the pack on that.
Yeah, it seems to have the most longevity. So
yeah, and one of the things I've noticed about Evernote, for example, if there's anything that comes to me in email, I can send an email to my Evernote. So I have an Evernote email now. Like we all need another email address, like a hole in the head. But it definitely is helpful because I can get an email from somebody and say, I want to save this. It's super important. And if I leave it on my email program, it's hard to find. I can't tag it. There's a lot of things. So I can send it, forward it to my Evernote email. It shows up on my Evernote, and I can tag it and file it away for future use.
And it's not just limited to just text, right? I mean, you can actually put photos or videos, links, or web links, or
yes, you can use a web clipper. It will very quickly take a snapshot either of the full web page and store that as a actual HTML, so it will reopen the page, or you can take a simplified view that cuts out all the ads and other goo-ga that gets in the way. So it's very mature in how it's working with the web to give you a real efficient clipper.
So it's like your digital briefcase, basically.
Yeah, yeah. You know, and a very nice companion piece to that is Cam Scanner. And when I say Cam Scanner, you might have some other piece of software that does the same thing. But Cam Scanner is a app that allows you to take a photo of any document, anything, but let's say documents in particular that you want to save to, let's say your Evernote or somewhere else. Cam Scanner basically is a copy machine in your phone, your smartphone. So if I have some notes in my notebook that I hand wrote, and I say, well, I'm always forgetting my notebook, I can take a picture with Cam Scanner. Cam Scanner then will turn into a black and white PDF or a grayscale or anything I want, so it gets very small, its file size, and then we'll save it to my Evernote file or anywhere else I want to send it, or it could be sent to through the email. It's just a way to be able to basically have a scanner in your pocket. And
does it happen to have any OCR, optical character recognition capabilities?
Evernote does.
Evernote does. Okay, so it can take a picture that has text in it and then convert it to actual editable text.
Yes, Stan does that. I haven't pushed it that hard yet, but Stan does that all the time. So yes, so powerful combination. Again, you can substitute any names you want here for Evernote or Cam Scanner. You may have some other apps, but in the area of productivity, the idea of using the cloud as your virtual office storage is going to save you a lot of anxiety, and your office will be tidier. You can get rid of all those papers because you've scanned them in and put them into some kind of productivity. Maybe it's Evernote, and maybe you've used Cam Scanner or some other similar device. There are more apps out there to do this kind of scanning.
Right. All right, our next category, photo and video. Well, photo and video are king, as the slideshow says. Boy, and I see it every time. When I do a post on Facebook or even Twitter, if there is a photo or a video associated with that post, you will get a lot more hits and views than if it was just pure text. I mean, I think it's natural for us human beings. We're so visual. We want to actually see something versus just read the text. How many times have you clicked on a link, Jeff, that had a video link on it?
Oh, you mean that I chose to go to the video first?
Right, versus the text or read what it was about.
Oh, yeah, my eyes always go right to that little square with that triangle in the middle that says push here to play.
Yeah, it's and now with our mobile devices as basically a studio, video studio or photo studio in your pocket. Um, it's so easy. Just we've gotten to the point where actually here at ECTU, when people ask us about, well, I need to give me recommendations for a video camera, and I said, just get an iPad or an iPhone and use it because the video quality is now so good that the video coming out of those small devices are pretty much just as good as the handheld, consumer type video cameras.
Yeah, I have mixed the footage I've shot with my iPhone with digital high def footage that I shot with a dedicated video camera.
Mm.
Yeah, there's a slight difference, but it's very usable. But I think the idea is again, as you mentioned, that when you're in a situation that you could capture a short clip. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Let's say a process, a product, a meeting, a comment, a mini interview with a stakeholder in a project. You've got the capacity to do that, and then it can become a powerful part of your project's sort of legacy materials for presentations to your either your clients, to the administration. It captures eyeballs and brings people to the table around a single idea. And again, I mean, you and I are both, we've been doing video a long time, but it's not difficult to do. So the idea that you have to have a finished, highly edited product is not necessarily so. You can just get by with it, provided you get close enough to somebody so you can hear them well. If they're saying important things, the motivation and the sort of urgency that video transmits will take your message far. And let's say even if it's a simple procedure like how to attach bush hog to a power takeoff on a tractor, and you want to show that to your 4-H students who are learning about tractor safety or something. Imagine standing there trying to wave your arms in a classroom. You may not have a tractor, but if you're out there and you're near the tractor, you can create a short video of that kind of thing. Get close, show how the power PTO is connected, and bing, you've got something you can use for years in a variety of places. So, yeah, I think that's the message: is we really have a television studio in our pocket.
And I use photos and videos for social media a lot. You're at an event, take a video with Vine. That's just 6 seconds, right? A 6-second video, and gives you the flavor of what that event is, just instantly. Just as soon as you take it, upload it, and boom, there it is, just a few seconds. Same thing with Instagram photos. I mean, it doesn't take that much. You don't have to be at your computer. You do it all from your phone. You take the photo, you edit it, and you upload it. Instant.
Yeah, a long message is not necessarily a good message. So, yeah, 6 seconds seems awful short, but I think I've seen some vines that have been very interesting in showing you how to do something.
Yeah, we talked a little bit in a past episode, and you can look that up on our blog where we talk more about that. So, segueing into social media.
Social media, this is definitely huge for mobile devices over the last couple of years since we've been looking at it, and it's a constantly moving target. And we're going to take a look at something. I think, Victor, you found something new.
Well, it's something that I've been using to manage Facebook pages. So I manage several pages, and sometimes it's tough to be at a computer to do it. So there's an app that's called Facebook Pages Manager, and it's not the same as the Facebook app that most people know about. This is actually for Facebook page administrators. Basically lets you log in as that page and post as that page versus as yourself. So I mean, you can do this already online through your desktop and laptop computer, but now with this app you can do it from your mobile device, and it makes it so much easier just to post to the page. So and I know a lot of our county offices have Facebook pages, and 4-H also. If you're an administrator for a Facebook page, you can use this app to manage and post pages, photos, videos, and any type of post on Facebook directly from this app. So it's really handy, and it lets you look at all of the ones that you manage if you manage several of them. So
Nice.
it's handy for that.
Yeah, I mean, the social media scene is changing so quickly. It's, again, hopefully if you've been following along with what we've been doing over the last couple of years with this, is experimenting, trying, and not being afraid to take a risk. We're finding, for example, with the social media that many of the younger folks, 4-H clients, are moving away from Facebook.
Yes.
Where are they headed?
They're actually going more towards the instant messaging types of apps. So I don't know if how many of you heard that Facebook bought WhatsApp, and it's an instant messaging app for over $1 billion, which just seems to defy all sensibility.
Yeah.
But Facebook saw it's so important that they want to bring those teens back, because they were losing them for Facebook, and so they bought this instant messaging app in order to keep a hold of that demographic. There's a lot of apps out there that do instant messaging. Snapchat is one infamous one, where you send out a text message or a photo, and it theoretically, it disappears after a few seconds. So, some people see that as possible evil uses, especially with teenagers sending those photos of themselves in compromising situations and expecting it to disappear after a second or two. And but again, the privacy issue. Does it really delete it? I mean, once it's out there, it's out there. That's what we've been told, right?
Yep.
So, however, kids, sometimes just take it as face value. So, from the extension point of view, I think it's really important to educate kids on the use of social media. And 4-H talks to kids about other things, but this would be one area that we could actually help out in developing awareness to the young people about the benefits, but also the dangers of using social media and the privacy issues.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, on to the next part of the show. We're bringing it to the last quarter of it. We hope all of you are getting a good, strong signal, and you can actually send us messages through the YouTube chat box, and we will be monitoring those as well. So, onward.
Okay, we got mobile news.
The last of the mobile news.
The mobile news.
Smartphones.
That's actually, I'm going to jump here to iOS 8 slide, because that's iOS 8 coming this fall. Apple just announced they released the development version of it to software developers, so they can start playing with it and have their apps ready for when Apple launches iOS in the fall. Many of you are thinking, what? We just updated to 7, or you might still be on 6, if you have an older unit. By the way, if you're still on 6, I would heavily recommend that you upgrade to 7, because it takes care of several security issues. There were some problems. Jeff, you uploaded 7 fairly soon after it was released, right?
Yeah, and I got used to its quirks, and now I think it's an incredible, powerful operating system. And the feel is really, I think, a lot easier on the eyes, and I appreciate what it can do.
I waited a little bit, probably about 6 months before I updated, but Yeah, I've gotten used to it too, and I like it. Now with iOS 8, some of the new features that are coming out is um, instant on, so you can tell it the phone to actually listen to you via the microphone when you say something. Some very similar to what Google Glass is. So Google Glass actually turns on when you um, say particular words. You know, Google Glass. I can't remember what the first word was, but apparently with iOS 8, if you say "Hey Siri," Siri turns on automatically, so you don't actually have to push a button to turn Siri on. Just by saying "Hey Siri," the mic is automatically listening, and it will turn on, so it's hands-free.
So if I say, oh, be serious, suddenly my phone's going to start.
Well, hopefully their audio filter is a little bit more finer than that. I don't know. Another thing that iOS 8 is going to have is true transfer from your mobile device to your Apple desktop computer. So right now there's very clunky ways of trying to send files back and forth. Now you'll be able to send them uh, kind of like by flicking, on it from one to the other. So you start working on your iPad, you're working on a document, and you can go to your desktop. It recognizes that your device is there automatically, and it will open up on your desktop, and you can keep on working and finish on your desktop, and vice versa.
Nice.
Yeah, so I
Well,
believe
I plan
it's
on being an early adopter again. I'm going to dance, dive in, and swim in the deep end of the pool as soon as possible. So
right. And also, your photos will be all synced in all your devices. So if you edit a photo on one device, that edit will be saved on all as soon as you save it on that first one, and so it will sync up automatically on your iPhone, your iPad, your laptop, your desktop, all through iCloud. Again, this is cloud technologies. So iOS 8, a whole bunch of new features coming to you soon in the fall.
I'd like to finish off with a, I think, a major capacity change that's occurred in extension with being able to actually produce the materials that show up on these mobile devices that could use your content.
Mhm.
And we hinted at this throughout the last year or so. The EESC, Extension Experimentation Communications, has been working hard developing a digital strategy that would move us into position to create extension publications that are highly interactive, multimedia, and mobile. And we're happy to say that we've actually made it through, I think it was an amazing year of negotiations and a lot of strategizing and people working hard to try to make this happen, because we could talk till we're blue in the face about mobile devices, but if extension isn't there, then we're not a player fully. So how do you get your material into a app? So I wanted to show you and remind you of what the capacity is now on campus here to be able to actually create these things. So I'm trying to get myself up. Can you see me now?
I will switch over to you.
Yeah, I'm
There
gonna
we
be.
go.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sharing with you what is possible. Let's say, in fact, we got an email when we sent out the notice about EMDUG that we were doing our last broadcast about apps and things. We got an email saying, "Good timing, because I have some publications. I'd like to create some apps with them. Is that possible?" And it is. The software we're using now, we got from Adobe. It's world-class software. It's the Digital Production Suite and Digital Publication Suite, DPS. Normally, it's the kind of thing you see coming off of high-end international color glossy magazines that are available as apps. We have the same software now. We can do the same thing using the same software. So we've got ourselves in a position to do this. And for example, behind me here is a sample of a publication that we created from, in this case, was Steve Fitzgerald and his other forestry silvicultural extension specialists to do case studies about forests and their ownership and how to manage your forest. So he was our guinea pig, and I'll show you what we've come up with. And we've got 3 of these, 2 of them completed, third is being finished up. These are apps. You can go to the App Store. You can go to the Android store. You can, Google Play. Those folks have this app, so it's out there in the world. But let me show you what it does. Instead of just being a publication, which is what we normally do, it does have the capacity
Fitzgerald.
built-in video.
Introduce you to an alternative silviculture forest management series of case studies that we are following.
And I swipe it, and up and comes the text. Oh, there's a low battery. I've been waiting here too long. Text space, like your pub's still there, but you work closely with the multimedia developers, and we find and create the opportunities for more embedded videos that match up. Notice down here it's an interactive Google map that lets us actually zoom in to this particular woodlot in Elgin, Oregon. So it's connected live to the internet. Again, the idea that you can use interactivity and the fact people can play with your ideas. A timeline, whereas I select different times, I can get different pictures and statements. Just the fact that it's not just something you read, it's something you do. More videos. We had lots of videos. Now here's one. This is pretty wild. Because it's forestry, people have to know how it is the stands look. So we did a virtual tour of this particular story of trees and created, watch this, a 360-degree photo. So within the publication, people can actually look at the stand that was created using a particular silvicultural prescription. It's important because things like if you look up, you say, oh, well, that's the kind of spacing that the trees have when they're cut in this fashion. They can look around at the ground. They can even get information. Notice there's a little button up here that they can actually push, and that button brings up a fact about that part of the stand, something about that tree or the technique. These are videos. You can have a video that plays out in the middle of the forest or anything else. So the idea that you have access to interactivity is, I think, as an author, going to be amazing. So if you want to find out more about DPS and what the EESC can do to help you create a publication that's an app, give us a call.
So what's the name of that app?
It's Adobe DPS.
Well, I'm talking about the actual app that you can get off of the Apple Store.
Yeah, we have a storefront for this that just went live June 1, and I have to admit I'm using one that's local, but it's on the Apple Store, App Store, and also on the Google Store. Mm-hmm. And you have to search for silviculture. Try silviculture, forestry. I'll try to get that out to folks because it's new. We're going to have a extension store front in development. We want to make sure we get everybody's input in that and create what amounts to an extension store that will be out on in the Apple and Google Android stores.
So do these apps, these publications cost money?
Well, you certainly can charge for them, so it could change our business model. They could be free, or you could charge $1.99, or if it's something people really want, you might get away with $10.99. So it could change. It could be a game changer in terms of how our publications can fund extension.
And how about analytics of knowing how many people have downloaded these apps?
It's just chock full of analytics, Victor. Unbelievable. So there's so much stuff you can do. We could track who's watching what videos, are they interacting with certain things, in addition to the standard how many's we've got where, and that kind of information. Plus, because this is a software designed for Madison Avenue magazines and others, there are some very high-powered analytics that are much deeper. Whether we have access to those, at this point, I know we don't. But who knows?
Yeah.
Adobe's become our good buddy. They are loving what we're doing with this because they've never seen it done before.
Huh.
All they've seen are magazines.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're teaching, we're saying you can do interactive learning materials with this.
Education. Yeah.
Yes, education. They really, their eyes bugged out, and that's why we were able to get such to get this access to this very powerful software.
Awesome. So we look forward to seeing more apps by extension.
Yeah, the OAP magazine is on this as well. The Oregon Ag Progress magazine is online. You should check it out if you haven't seen it. Totally interactive app, full of media, videos, interviews, interactive diagrams, and beautiful photos, and of course, wonderful text.
Great, Jeff. So we'll plan to put all of the links to these apps up on our blog when I post the recording of this presentation, so that you can go to it. So that brings our final session, EMDUG final session, to close. With, again, an eye to the future. We're closing down EMDUG as a mobile device user group, but we are expanding into more, again, different areas of technology and ways that you can work to educate and to inform people about your programs and your services. And we're really excited to take this to the next level now.
Yes, we really appreciate the comments and the feedback we've gotten over the last, 18 months or more of EMDUG. And don't hesitate if you have other questions or ideas to share. Our blog will stay alive, right? It lives on.
Yep, it's still there. We're not shutting that down. We might not be posting our future stuff to there, but you know, if there's any mobile device type of information, we'll stop posting there. Most likely, we'll start another blog for our future webinar, so we can, you know, expand it past, again, the mobile device domain.
And promise me, we'll come up with a better acronym than EMDUG.
Well, maybe make a contest or something, you know, extension technology, or I don't know.
Yeah. So stay tuned, folks. We'll be back. Give us we'll be working over the summer to come up with the next generation of webinars that we hope will bring some useful information to you and all the good work that you do in extension. Yeah. So with that, I'm going to say farewell from Click. And Clack, how are you doing? Are you
Thanks. Thanks. Take care, everyone. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye, everyone.